1 second. Let me finish this level real quick, and then I'll get back to you. Okay. So... Actually, I can just pause right here. There's no real big mission going on. So, what's up? It's December 23rd, and do I have a treat for you? We got our first Christmas-themed video on the channel. Yeah, I don't think I've ever made a Christmas-themed episode on the podcast, but, that is now dead. But, I do know that now... we are gonna have our first Christmas-themed video on the channel. So, sit back, relax, and get ready for Christmas. Because it is that time of the year again, my fellas. It is that time, and it's a really cool time. See what I did there? Because Christmas is always a cool time of the year. Like, you know, it's cold wind. That's not what I'm trying to get at here. What I'm trying to get at here is... Christmas always brings around new movies, and movies usually come from books like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and they turn into really good movies, like the Jim Carrey version, my personal favorite version. But no, over there, look at me, right there, better. We need to get into the juice of today's episode. We're gonna start off strong by talking about 2 Christmas movies that have come out recently that I have actually watched recently, considering I just finished one of them today. So let's sit down, relax, take off your coats, because it's going to be nice and warm in here for this episode. Grab your hot cocoa and sit down on the Polar Express, because we're about to tell a story about these movies. So I've been told that the first movie that we're going to talk about is like Die Hard. And I don't know what happens in Die Hard. All I know is that the guy who plays Professor Snape is in it as the villain, and buildings blow up. That's all I know. I don't know anything else beyond that, so... I don't know anything else beyond that point of what Die Hard is. And people say that's a Christmas movie, people say it's not. And I say if that's a Christmas movie, Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie. And if that and Iron Man 3 are a Christmas movie, then Carry On is a Christmas movie. Because in Carry On, there's this young trainee or this young worker at the TSA in Los Angeles, and his girlfriend's pregnant. He doesn't get paid well or something like that. His friend works at like the scanning machine. He works at the metal detector. And so he says, please let me work at the scanner just for today. I can spot anything just as well as my friend here. I can actually spot better than him. And he's like, I'm sorry for laying it down on you like that. I'm sorry for being mean in that room for a second just to get that job for the day. But his friend is actually the one who like says, hey, actually he can work my shift while I work his shift. So he like switches the shifts around and gets them to work in these positions, but little do they know that terrorists were supposed to go through his friend's line that day, which is where he's working. So they send him this earpiece, he puts it in his ear, and the guy who plays the fox from Zootopia is the guy, whatever his name is, tell me in the comments, but he's like, my guy's gonna come through your lane, and here's what's gonna happen. You're just gonna let his bag right on through. There's a bomb in it, so you're gonna let that right on through. You're not gonna have any issues, okay? And they start chatting, having conversations. Then he lies to him and tries to get him caught multiple times, but they have like hacked into the cameras and everything. So there's really no hiding from this guy, really. So he does that thing. They end up getting him to do the thing, but in the meantime of that happening, one of the older coworkers, they inject him with something that causes him to have a heart attack, and he has this heart attack. He dies. So that's one character down, and the main character, last name Kobeck, I think it's Ethan Kobeck. He he takes a break for a second because his friend just died. He talks to the man who voices Fox in Zootopia, and he's like, well, sacrifices have to be made. People tell me they want to blow something up. I make the bomb. I do the job. Whatever, yada, 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 yada. And then he continues on with the day. Ethan Kovac goes back to his position. He's like, you know what? Actually, let's spice things up a bit. A man with a red hat this time, not a black hat, a red hat is going to come through your line. You're going to let him through because he actually has the bomb. I don't. So you're going to let him through, nothing else. And he's like, okay. He secretly pulls out his Apple Watch. He's like, Siri, record a message. Send this text to the chief. And he's like, as he's talking, he's like, I don't want to do this, so you can't make me blow this up. I don't want to let this bomb go through. Once again, hacked into the cameras. So they are like, hey, cancel that message. And he's like, okay. He has to take off his watch, take his phone, put it in this safe lost and found section. So, like, there's no form of communication. Then his friend takes over the shift for a second. Then Ethan goes back to his original position at the metal detector, and he has to spike his coffee, or get another side of coffee and spike it. So he does that, gets his friend fired, and his girlfriend later confronts him. He has to walk away, because if he doesn't walk away from talking to her about it, then the sniper who's in the truck, who is hacked into the cameras and everything, is going to shoot Nora, the girlfriend. And that's like the whole thing. Either he does the work, or someone close to him is going to die. And I still think it's like Speed, starring Keanu Reeves. I mean, how could it not be like Speed? Just think about it. There's a guy who has a bomb. He's trying to get it to a certain place to kill a lot of people. And then the main character is a cop who's trying to stop them, but also at the moment or the time cannot, because he is cornered. He has no choice but to follow whatever the guy's saying. Speed. Anyways, back to the movie. He lets the guy with the red cap through, but then the machine catches it and notifies them, so they take the red cap guy in for questioning. Ethan is still shocked and scared, and he goes in to try and find the guy with the red cap so that he can disarm the bomb, because he has like a whole fight scene with whatever his name is, who plays Fox in Zootopia. He has a whole fight with him. He's like, you know what? I'll walk you through on disarming the bomb. You just go and do it. I'll stay here. Keep the ear in so we can chat. So he goes in. He almost kills his boss, the lead guy, and there's this other guy, Mateo, who is working with him, and there's this other guy, Mateo, and Mateo is the guy with the red hat, and he is trapped in there because they have his partner in the van, like tied up, duct taped to make sure he doesn't make any noise. And he's being interrogated by the chief, and Ethan walks in. He's got this little 3D printed gun they made. He's like, I don't want to do this. Please move. Please move. Please. Sir, boss. I don't want to shoot you, boss. Please, get out. Please move. And his boss is like, sir, dude, I don't want to fight. I don't want to do anything bad. Please, just don't shoot me. Then Ethan comes in with a pen, shouts it right in the jugular, or whatever this area of the neck is. His boss dies, and I really did not see that coming. I found that scene very sentimental. And then Mateo was like, I had to. I was like, hurt him. I don't know what I just did. I can't believe it. He's got blood all over his hand, and he's like, they're forcing me to. I have to save my partner. I can't. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt my partner. Yeah. So then they have to hide the body. So they sneak out, and Mateo helps. But he eventually gets where he's like, hey, Mateo. To make sure that you're a little person here, your little partner is safe, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna try and kill Ethan Kovac, the man that we're trying to get to do our job for us. You have to kill him to ensure the safety of your partner. So he tries to kill him. There's like a whole gunfight, bang bang, punch punch, bang bang, And this little 3D printed gun is made to explode after the final shot. So Mateo goes bang, grenade shard all over the neck, dead. What a shame to Mateo. Ethan, he disarms the bomb successfully, but then he switches out the bags to try and trick the guy who's trying to take the bag onto the plane, who is the guy that voices Fox from Zootopia. And as they're doing this, LAPD is coming. I'll show a clip, and there's a whole fight scene in a car. I have to speed it up and change the sound so I don't get in trouble. But it's a really funny scene. In my opinion, it's kind of crazy because they kill somebody, but after that, she tries to confront Ethan. Ethan's like, wait, I'm not the guy you're looking for. The guy you're looking for is on a plane to New York. So he throws the LAPD girl down, and he gives her all the information, and scurries off, runs away. So that's the end of that scene, and the next scene we have is him going to find his girlfriend, because his girlfriend is being chased down by the guy who owns the bomb, and the guy who owns the bomb is not very happy. So, and then there's there's Mateo's partner in the van still, and he almost breaks loose, but then he eventually breaks loose after the guy tries to go after Nora. So he pulls out the guy's rifle and is like, bang! The guy's dead. After trying to shoot Nora, after Ethan saves Nora, they get everything cleared up. Then they find out that the villain's on a different plane, going somewhere else to Washington, D.C., because there's apparently another terrorist on that flight that they wanted to originally kill, because there were also other government officials on that flight that they also wanted to kill. So Ethan has to jump into the cargo area. He saves the day, obviously. He disarms the bomb, but then the guy who plays Fox jumps down there and is like, you're an idiot, because he keeps on saying this. And there are those who listened, and there's those who are in control, and there's also those who are asleep. You are listening and you are asleep. And there's like this whole scene where he picks, because it's a gas bomb, it shoots gas out that'll kill you. So Ethan picks up this thing of gas. He's like, maybe I just woke up. Opens up the refrigerator, kicks the guy in, throws it in, breaks it open. He dies from the gas. He's like, Ethan, let me out. Kind of like, Michael, don't leave me here. Let me out. And that is the tragic end to all the terrorists. They save the day. The plane gets landed. They escort them out. Ethan goes to LAPD for a job. Like, he works at LAPD now. He works at LAPD now, and the final scene of the movie is Ethan and his friend going off to like the Bahamas or something. They're going off to some little they're going off to him and his wife, and they finally have their kid, so they're all going off to wherever they're going off to for the holidays. And well, that's about the end of that movie. And then there's Red One, which I loved this movie. I don't really know a movie that I can relate it to per se, but I guess you could say it's a little bit like Spirited without the lovey-dovey ending. Well, let's say lovey-dovey ending. It's like a little bit like Spirited without the music. But anyways, this movie has J.K. Simmons, The Rock, and Chris Evans. If there's any more celebrities, like big names in there, tell me. I don't know in the comments. So Santa, played by J.K. Simmons, is a really buff Santa. He works out, he does his job, but then there's his security guard, The Rock, who will check every cookie to make sure it doesn't have poison or something in it. Make sure if he's allergic to anything, like, oh, chocolate, peanut butter, you're allergic, get out. And then he's like, you know what, I'm actually gonna quit because I don't see good in this world anymore. I'm never gonna miss the parents and the grown-ups being absolute butts in the grocery store. I'm never gonna miss them being jerks to each other, cursing at each other, absolutely just being punks to each other in the store. It's gonna be the greatest day when I leave, except I'm gonna miss all of the North Pole and everything. But lo and behold, something has to happen to the story. Something has to make it intriguing. So Chris Evans, a low-life father who lives on his own, He never was married. He's just the father of the child. He's kind of like a slob. If I had to relate him to anybody, he'd be like Finn from Adventure Time after his Finn sword was broken. Or, let's see any other slobs I can think of at the top of my head. Al's Toy Barn after he lost everything. Basically a slob still, sleeping in his apartment, leaving his hand in a bowl of Cheeto Puffs. But if we move on from this, then we continue, and he finds Santa's sleigh. Well, not really. He just finds this thing that just appeared out of the ordinary. Just appeared. So he's like, and his buyer is like, hey, give me the coordinates, and I'll give you really good money. So he's like, all right, transfer the money. Sends the coordinates. They find Santa. They kidnap him. Then there's this whole scene where they have to capture Chris Evans. And when they capture Chris Evans, well, they bring him in. They're like, he's a level 4 naughty lister. I can't believe we're working with him. And then he's like, oh, well, if you want to work with me, you have to do a price. And the leader of this whole group, because the government works with Santa, apparently, in this. Because, before he went back to the North Pole from every single shopping mall, he had F-35s, fifth generation F-35s, get him out of there, to keep him, not seen, had to keep him hidden. But, so that all happens. They double his price from what the buyer paid him to find Santa. He didn't know what he was doing. So after that, they go into a store to get, toys, so they can get, Monopoly, a Slinky, those little Rock'em Sock'em robots, and Chris Evans is supposed to get a little Hot Wheels that's practical. He gets him, a Lamborghini. And they have this little resize mechanism that's right here on their arm, and it makes some things work like actual things. So this Lamborghini turns into a real car. I think it's either a Lamborghini or a Corvette. It turns into a real Corvette or Lamborghini that they drive around. And then The Rock just, he hates this guy. So they go to the Bahamas to find the man that they're looking for, and they find him. And they're like, he's like, I cannot say my buyer's name out, because he sent the coordinates and everything to this other buyer, and this buyer, you cannot say her name out loud, or else she'll try to kill you or something. She's trying to collect every single naughty lister, and I guess that's kind of good because it gets rid of everybody that's bad. But at the same time, this world is broken and there's sin everywhere, so you can't really stop the brokenness. So she eventually would have everybody in her collection. And she has these snow globes that she uses Santa's energy to drain. She drains Santa's energy, and she uses it to make the snow globes so that people can they teleport to this shelf where they're stuck on her collection. And they're stuck in the snow globe as well. So that happens, and then the guys say her name. She sends these evil snowmen after her, which there's this whole cool fight scene, yeah. But the worst part about it is that the way you defeat the snowman is by taking their nose. If we watch the original animated movie about Frosty the Snowman, he died from, yes, he melted, but what stopped him from living was his hat. So if the snowman had hats and then died from that, I feel like it'd be a lot better. I'm not saying I didn't like the idea. It was a cool idea, but I feel like it could have been better if they had just left it as it was with the hat. So that happens. They fight him. The guy the broker who sent the stuff to Gorilla or something. I don't know. I don't remember what her name was, but they say her name. He gets frozen by a snowman. Dwayne Johnson still hates Chris Evans, even though they work together really well. Chris Evans and Dwayne Johnson go towards Krampus, which, if you don't know about Krampus is in this story, he is the brother of Santa Claus. In the mythology or whatever, He is this demonic-looking creature with a double tongue, horns, red eyes. He's got chains. He carries a bag, like a box on his back, and he carries around like dried out grass or something to whip kids with. Because what he does is, if you are a really bad kid, he punishes you. People say that he gives gifts to you, but no, he punishes you by he gets you out of bed and he goes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But if you are so bad, like if you're the worst of the worst, he takes you and he kidnaps you by putting you in his little box backpack, and then he takes you away. And so Santa didn't really like it, so he's like, you know what, we're not working together, get out. So Krampus has this, like, so if you watch like those slap clips on YouTube Shorts or TikTok, you've seen them like, ooh, bah, and someone's like down or whatever. But Krampus obviously wins because he's got insane strength in this. Why would this creepy guy not have insane strength? Why wouldn't he? So Chris Evans is a thief still, so he steals a bit from Krampus's memorial, this little like tribute thing where you put gold in it, and he steals from it. They get in trouble. Dwayne Johnson is challenged to Krampus. They call it Schlampus or something, and Dwayne Johnson delivers a fair blow to Krampus. Krampus, like, he's pushed off to the side, but then he's like, I'm gonna beat the out of you. He pulls his arm back and absolutely destroys him. Like, Dwayne Johnson is down. He's got a big old red handprint right here. He gets back up and is like, I don't know what's going on. So Chris Evans, being the thief he is, takes back because they took off his devices, like the one that makes things change size can also make you strong. So he puts this thing back on Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson absolutely rocks Krampus. Then Krampus is like, get them, go after them, yada yada yada. So they go after him, they escape, they obviously get out of there because they are the main characters. So after they get out of there, they say her name again. And it also turns out that the main villain was with Krampus originally. In this story, I don't think Krampus was ever with someone in the original mythology, but so it turns out. So they say her name, and then they're driving, and all of a sudden there's this black grand piano playing the Nutcracker. No, March is playing a march from the first act, and I think he's playing March, or it's either that or Dance with the Sugar Plums. And then there's this gift, and and this is how they deliver it. They give them a gift, and it's got the snow globe in it, and those who are curious take it, and they touch it, and then they transfer over to Gorilla, or whatever her name is like Layer. And then his son also gets one, and he's like, well, if you didn't want to come to my stuff, you didn't have to send a stupid present. Next time, just tell me. Because he's a horrible father. He doesn't go to his son's stuff. He just ignores him. He doesn't try to interact at all. But, that happens. And then Chris Evans is like, I gotta save my son. And so he's like, he takes it. He's like, come and find me and save me. So him and his son transfer over, and then The Rock gets saves his team. They go get them, and then Chris Evans is like, I'm a horrible father. I really need to be better. He's like, he has this whole dialogue where it's like this life-changing moment, kind of like in A Christmas Carol or Spirited, where Ryan Reynolds, where it stops Will Ferrell from committing sewer slider. He like jumps in front of it and is like, no. Ooh. Ooh, ooh. Why is everything frozen? They have a big old dance scene, and then they're like, you know what? You changed. You're a good person now. Will Ferrell survives, and guess what? Well, Ryan Reynolds dies, except this time they have this life-changing moment and everybody survives. And then after that, they have this big old fight scene as well, where they fight Grilla or something, and she shows her true form, because she's this like 80-foot tall ogre with tentacles and such. They fight her. Krampus comes in to save the day, but he gets thrown off to the side and by her, and he's like, oh, just like the good old days. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I don't know if they had an abusive relationship or something, but Then they fight. Santa comes out of nowhere, calls all the reindeer to knock her off the bridge. But really what happens is they push her back. She falls into this giant canister of the snow globes, causing her to be pushed into one whole snow globe. And now she's in her own collection, and she's stuck there forever. Then after that, everything is said and done, and Chris Evans is supposedly going to be a better father, and that's basically the end of the story. They end on a happy note. Dwayne Johnson doesn't quit. He continues with his job with Santa, and that's about it. I mean, there's nothing more to it than just that in the movies. I mean, the movies were really good movies. I enjoyed them. I'll watch them again at some point. But I'm still stuck on the Polar Express and A Christmas Carol, my favorite Christmas movies. Well, preferably the Jim Carrey version of A Christmas Carol. If there are any other Christmas movies I should watch, you can put them down in the comments. I'd love to see what your all's recommendations are. And I gotta do it. Bye.